Continuing with our availability this afternoon here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we are joined by Matt Kenseth, driver of number 20 Home Depot Husky Toyota. Matt, you're currently 6th in points, 5 wins this season, obviously 2 races to the chase. Talk a little bit about coming here to Atlanta Motor Speedway and your team's just mindset going into this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I love coming to Atlanta. It's not probably been my best track over the last few years, but it's a great racetrack. It's really wide. The cars that handle good, really show a lot of strength as the run goes on, with the tires drop off, slick pavement, all that stuff. So I'm excited to be here, excited to come off a win last week. Hopefully we can, come here and perform good again this week, get a good finish, and, keep some momentum.
All right, we'll open for questions for Matt. Please state your name and affiliation, and we'll start with Ed here in the back.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Matt, you've entered chases in a lot of different ways, and there's been some chases that you didn't seem to feel very good going into them or on into them. 5 wins, I mean, unless Jimmy wins the race, you're top seed. Is this a whole new way to enter a chase for you, and just what are your thoughts on going in this strong?
Well, like you said, I've been really fortunate through the years to make a few of those chases. I think we've entered the leader before, we've entered the last seed before, so I feel a lot better this week after winning last week, and I think we had a pretty good test this week at Chicago, so I feel pretty confident right now. I feel like we got a really good race team. Right now we're really on top of our game on pit road. And with car prep and the rest of the stuff. So I feel good about all that, but you have to perform each and every week, once you get there. So the wins are great, obviously, that as long as we make the top 10, obviously that seeds us up toward the top. We should be at least a tie, hopefully, or hopefully ahead. So that is good, but you have to put together 10 strong, solid weeks for sure.
Well, given that the unknowns are out there, but still might this be the best you felt or the happiest you felt going in just at this stage of the season?
Yeah, it's been a great season for sure. So hopefully we can put forth a good effort this weekend and next weekend as well. They've both been good tracks historically for JJR. So hopefully we can do that. And even if we don't, I think we'll feel pretty good, going to Chicago. But I think it would certainly help to have a good week, especially here. This place is really similar to what I think the conditions that we're going to face in Chicago and probably Texas as well. So I'm looking forward to getting on the track, seeing if we're better than when we were here a few weeks ago for the tire test. And like I said, put forth a good effort. Hopefully, get a couple more solid finishes here. Rolling into the chase.
All right, additional questions for Matt? Okay, let's come up front to David Caravello.
Matt, you've talked many times about how this is all so much more than you would have hoped for in a first season with a new team. I mean, did you have real fears and anxieties when you changed organizations, and sort of what were the biggest worries you had in your mind about how you'd fit in or how you'd do with a new place?
I really felt as good about it as I could possibly feel about it, honestly. When the whole thing came up, it really didn't. It's hard to explain, but like I said a few times when we've talked about it, it wasn't a hard decision. It was really an easy one for me to make. I felt 100% confident it was the right thing for me, and obviously I still feel that way. It's been a great season. Now I think you always have a certain amount of anxiety, no matter where you are or how you're running or what's going on around you, because it is a performance business. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past. It doesn't really matter what we did last week. I mean, you got to do it each and every week to stay here, and I've always kind of felt like that. I don't think you ever get comfortable, and sometimes I don't think you ever really want to get comfortable. I think you always want to try to be moving forward. So. And then there was the first time I walked in there when the season was over. That was I had a little bit of anxiety there, especially when the secretary didn't know who I was or what I wanted there. So you always have moments like that, to kind of get used to it, and it always humbles you. And but certainly I felt really at home there, from the beginning, at least after that first 15 minutes, till I realized what I was there for. But since then I've really felt at home there, and just a special team. We all get along really good. We work together really good. I think we understand each other, have the same goals and ideas and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. Yep.
All right, let's go to Jerry, and then we'll come back up front to Claire. Okay.
Is Terry Jordan, Kicking the Tires. To expand on Ed's question just a little bit, we have the chase format somewhere because of, people question you winning a championship with no wins. But does it really matter if you win a championship, how you got into the chase or how you win it, as long as you get it?
Nope, not a bit. Makes no difference, when they start the season and they tell you what the format is and what you have to do to win a championship. And to my knowledge, I've never changed that during the season. So, at that point, everybody starts at zero and has the same opportunity no matter what format you're working under. So, I've never felt bad about that. Never felt anything but good about it.
All right, let's come up to Claire, and we'll end with Lee Spencer.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. How long does it take normally, and you've worked with crew chiefs for a long 10 years and switched crew chiefs, to get a new crew chief? Would you be ahead of the game, you think, with Ratcliffe? Because it seems like the chemistry is just there. It's hard to tell from the outside. How long would you expect it to take to really be on go with a crew chief, and how has the pattern maybe escalated with Ratcliffe?
I think very, very quickly. Within the first day or so, I think you'd know whether it's a good match or whether it's going to be a challenge, and you're not going to see eye to eye. Certainly, some of the stuff on a personal level, it's been a bonus because we get along really good, away from the racetrack. Besides working together, and I enjoy being around them and all that stuff. So that's a bonus. You don't necessarily have to have that to be successful on the racetrack, but I think pretty quickly. I think everything lines up or doesn't line up. Timing, all that stuff. I think that all kind of happens for a reason, and everything's kind of, that's just the way things go. So it was, it was the right time for it. Obviously, I think for both of us, this is his second year in Cup. He's worked really hard to get to where he's at. I think he really appreciates where he's at, and I know he just works really, really hard. I think he knows this is his time, and he's working really hard at it. So we definitely got lined up and got together. I believe at the right time.
All right, and we'll go in with Lee.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. There seems to be a wave of young kids coming in. I mean, you remember that when you were part of that young gun group. In some ways it's probably good because you have a son will likely be, part of that generation as well. You think that it's just the evolution of things, how things cycle out around here, or do you think that it's gotten to the point where, a lot of the veterans are getting paid a lot of the money and the sponsorships aren't what they used to be?
I was with you until the very end there. I kind of missed that a little bit, but I think if you're just asking about the young drivers coming in and some of the older drivers getting out, I think there's always I think the changing of the guard is good unless you're the guard getting changed. Then it's not so good for you. But I think it always is good for the sport to have some younger kids come in, and unfortunately for them to come in and get some new names and faces and all that for the fans and for everybody else to follow. Obviously, somebody has to get pushed out, which always stinks for the person getting pushed out. But I think that it also goes through cycles. I remember even when I first came in, there was a lot of guys that were there for a long time. And there was a big group that came in the rookie class that I was in. I think there were 7 or 8 of us that tried to run for Rookie of the Year that year. And then you'll go through, like we have the last 5 or 6 years where there's been maybe 1 or 2 rookies, or maybe none in a year, So I think that's just the way the sport works. I think as some drivers get older or maybe aren't performing as good or whatever, they're going to get replaced, and the owner's going to gamble with a younger driver and start building for the future that way.